Hey everyone, this is Gus. Welcome to the new episode. You can say that. Well, welcome to a new episode of my Drawing with Gus. What we're doing here, this is a channel devoted to art, pretty much art. I'm trying to do my best, trying to put this kind of like a free uh, free courses for how to do like a demos. Actually, there are free demos of how to do concept art or how to try to conceptualize art and also how to design some kind of a concept art. Pretty much is designing concept art. So, how we can do that? Well, simple paper and pencil. You can just do whatever you want to. It's just starting that. So, I guess we are ready, shall we? Hey, again, this is Gus. I'm a professional illustrator. Welcome to Drawing with Gus. What we're doing exactly is we're drawing. And not only drawing, we are painting. But right now, let me put this first. I need to open my Clicker Studio Paint. Yeah, I'm gonna open Clicker Studio Paint. So what we are doing since the last week, we have started repurposing. What is repurposing? Well, remember what is the purpose? Well, the purpose is what is the utility or whatever this is going to be. So the main purpose of an illustrator is to convey something, communicate something, be part of something, or simply being a decoration of something else. It's just like a moving parts. So just imagine the illustration to be like a little cog in the machinery. So yeah, that is pretty much the illustrator. Um, Illustration is commercial art. So this is, the difference between fine arts and illustrators. I mean, a fine artist, which is a painting artist that do whatever installations, not only painting, but installation, conceptual art, and that kind of stuff. Not concept art, conceptual art, material art, and that kind of stuff. Mix it with a concept. Okay. So the difference between a fine artist and an illustrator is money in the bank. That's true. Yeah, because many times illustrators are more lucky when they are taught to land jobs. But if you are a fine artist, chances are it's a very, very, very tiny chance that you can have somebody that will sponsor you, some like a patron and an agent or somebody else. And besides, you have to be in the trend. I mean, you can be a trendsetter or you can be part of the trend. So that is for you to decide. When I was a painting artist, my first idea was to try to be a trendsetter. And we designed a manifesto with a friend of mine, Robert Dunkley. We designed a manifesto that was called that was of the new uh, the new avant-garde. So for us, the new avant-garde was the rejection of everything that was established by academia. Well, at the time in my nature country, Ecuador, academia was pretty much plagued by those guys that like, you know, not even pseudo Rauschenberg, not even was Rauschenberg or like a pop artist or this kind of like more modern, a little more mature, like Paul Klee. They were like Salieres or Paul Klee, but a little more into the Dubuffet kind of the wave, or pretty much they were, I guess they were pretty much doing like the Wilhelm de Koning kind of wave. And I was like a Dadaist kind of guy. So as a Dadaist, I like to reject whatever whatever is established. So a fine artist is usually somebody who rejects whatever is established. For that reason, there is no such thing as a paint artist that is, um, you know, a conservative because we don't want to conserve anything. I mean, why you want to conserve? What you want to conserve? When you were a pre-Raphaelist, what you want to conserve? The Teniers, the Antoine, this I don't know who is the other guys from the 19th century, kind of painters. The the excessive mannerism and the that kind of style. But you want to conserve that? No. So you try to break the mold, and you go to you know before Raphael or Raphael. So you are a pre-Raphaelist, Raphaelist or Raphaelist. I don't know. Pre-Raphaelistas. That's in Spanish and also in Italian. So yeah, something like that. But anyway, that is the art. But the time of the impressionist, or by the time of the Dadaism, or by the time of the Cubism, or even by the time of the these guys, the Fauves. Oh mon Dieu, Donatello et les Fauves. Oh my God, Donatello among the beasts. That was Fauve. That was that's why the Fauves or Fauves movement was baptized. Yeah, that was named for that because they were beasts. Also, is the naives from naive. Yeah, so the naive art, Pontius and Paul Seurat, that kind of stuff. They try to break the mold. So you can also break the mold in commercial art. Yeah, but you need a lot. Let me tell you, you need a lot of effort for that. Sometimes it doesn't pay too much to do that. Sometimes it's good to be, going with the flow, surfing the way. You are in the way of the almost comic, almost realism. So just go in that way. For example, weeks ago, I see one illustrator because I used to work with this guy or try to work with this guy, which is the mascot. And I seen this illustrator that's working for him. She has a nice website. I mean, regular kind of normal website for an illustrator. But the art that was portrayed in the website has nothing to do with her works in the books that were published. I really like her art. It was very nice, very, very well finished. And not only that, it has a nice and very clean technique. The art that she put in the books is not good. I mean, if you're putting a good in the books, a kind of art that is different for your art, my personal appreciation is you better do something even better that you have. Okay? You have to outdo yourself. That's it. But in this case, I didn't feel that way. I just think that, yeah, they pay her. She did it a very, I didn't like it. Probably people like it, but I didn't like that. And she was paid for. Yeah. Why? Why she will do that? What many illustrators do that? Yeah, because sometimes it's because of the myopia, I guess the myopia, the creative myopia of the publisher, of the editor, and they are trying to look for certain kind of style. For example, when I did one of the books that I have in my website, which is Levy's Rainy Day, I've been presented with an style that she tried to do. I did my version of that style, but I tried to do it in the best way possible. I mean, I try to be more as much as I can do to be a realist. You know, try to be a realistic. Kind of illustrations. For the other sides, they gave me like a references. It's up to you to follow the reference to the letter, like they were the letter of the law, or just do your part. We are creative people, so we just put a little speck of sand, a little grain of salt, a little pepper, a little paprika, to make things better. But That is what I like much. Sometimes some artists they just have like a you have like a 10,000 people doing the same thing. And personally, I don't, I don't, I don't feel it bad because I've been in that way. I've been there. So you try to put some rice and beans on the table, but many people don't like the way you do things. So sometimes it's like an upstream fight. So yeah, it's just upstream swimming, trying to get to the to better grounds. Yeah, and it will be sometimes like a very very exhausting fighting, and it will burn out all your resources sometimes. So you have to go with the flow, and you have to go and start doing that thing. So, being say that, for many people, illustration is like a sterile kind of job because, of course, there is no illustrator unless is the fame is the fame salon of the illustrators. There is not such thing as an art museum unless your illustration were so good and you are like the epitome, you know, at the top of the pyramid of the commercial art in your time. But you are you will never see that. You are going to be long dead by then. So you have illustrators in museums, illustrator from the 50s, illustrator for the 60s, some works of illustrators like from illustrations for the Dali, even Picasso. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just commercial art. So it's a job. So you have to do your best. You have to do the best in your abilities. But also you have to think this. Every single book should be better than the last one, than the previous. I mean, okay? So that's my two things, I mean, about illustration, about what you have to do about this. And the other thing is try to make a portfolio. Many people said, "Oh yeah, I want to be an illustrator and I want to be this," but really, your portfolio sucks, guys. So what you can do with that? Well, first, see what kind of illustrations you like. There's many kinds of illustration. There is like a Google kind of blind illustrators that I see all time. Everyone right now is in that style. Also, there is the kind of illustrations like Disney comics or like a Pixar kind of things. So you have to see what is the style you like. Now, an artist without information is an artist without any opinion. So if you don't have an educational background, if you don't educate yourself in art and know what is the trends and know what is the schools, different schools in time. We have the school of the hands in the Altamira caves. That's the way I like to call it because it's a bunch of hands, you know, and all over the roofs, all over the walls in the Altamira caves I guess it's in Spain or France. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I call it that way. Okay, you have the Greeks, you have the Romans, you have the Troci, you have the Semitic art, you have Carthaginian art, you have the Tartessos art, which is the Iberian Peninsula kind of art. This is very different than the other art from other parts. You have to know our history. You have to know about the. Oh, by the way, do you know that the most famous pioneer on the Cubism or the Cubist movement wasn't Pablo Picasso. Yeah, wasn't him. Was Braque, naked man going down the stair. That is the first idea of Cubism. Actually, not only Cubism. I guess it was like a futurism, like the Italian futurism, because it was showing movement, and the this section of the no, how do you say? And there's kind of this section in different planes. I call it an atomism, but that was break. Also, this guy was also a cubist. This guy, Marcel Duchamp. He has some works that was cubist. Another cubist that many people doesn't know that I like a lot is Francis Picabia. Francis Picabia was in Spaniard too. Many people don't know much about him. Yeah, they know more about Picasso. But if you can just read about the movements, about futurism, about the cubism, about the Russian constructivism, suprematism, all that kind of movements, even onirism, surrealism or surrealism. How do you pronounce surrealism? Surrealism. Yeah, I guess surrealism. It's in French. With Salvador Dali and the other things. And this guy Italian that I don't like much because he was a fascist. Yeah, he was actually a fascist. Yeah, it's not because I didn't like guy. He was a fascist. He loved Mussolini. So yeah, those kind of guys, you have to learn about the movement. You have to learn about the German expressionism. You have to learn about the guys like Kokoschka, guys like what is this? There's so many movements there is in every part of the world, and there's these guys like Amadeo Modigliani and his faces. Also, Gustav Klimt. I love Klimt. Gustav Klimt and all that kind of stuff. You have to learn about that. You have to know have the information, even though you are illustrator. Yeah, you have to know about illustrations in the 20th century, illustration in the 21st century. So you see what is who is the trend setting? What is the trends going? So and still, instead of going to the regular schools like the Luises, the Lises, the what's the other the Rose, the Mangish, the animes, the Chinese kind of Mangish anime illustrations also, the Marvels, the DCs. You can just go use the Moebius, the Auguste Roulette, the Felix Roulette. Felix Roulette, I guess, was a writer. Auguste Roulette. And the guys like Enki Bilal. You can go to all those places and try to see all that information. Once you have that information, you can just start making decisions. Okay. And by the way, you can have at least two styles or three styles in your portfolio. That doesn't matter. Maybe somebody finds something that they like, or probably they've seen that you are so versatile that they want you to do something for them, and you will have the right foot in the door. That's what you're looking for. Yeah, that is about illustration. So for illustration, you have to have a portfolio, have to be a portfolio target for whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to do pinups, it should be a portfolio target for pinups. If you love androids and you want to go to sci-fi, you have to go to sci-fi kind of cover books and that kind of stuff. It has to be a portfolio target for that. And if you want to go vampires, dark thing, dark magic, that kind of stuff, or like Junjito kind of things. Yeah, your portfolio should reflect that. So that's my best advice for you guys, and it's totally free because many people is telling you how to find a portfolio, how to do your portfolio, but many people doesn't tell you how to do or start thinking in that portfolio because before doing, you have already figured out that thing. Yeah, I know my portfolio. I know where my portfolio is going because I love fantasy and I love creation of characters and I love children books. So my portfolio is going that way. So you should know where your portfolio is going. Okay? Where your portfolio is going to be target. So then, good thing I learned. I have a major in advertising and marketing. So I know how to direct things. I know how to think things. I know how to, you know, do things. The other thing, you should never stop learning. I mean, $10 for a course of human anatomy, if you are looking for that, in in Domestica or in this place Udemy, it's very cheap. Oh no, the English is not my first language. Well, it should be something in your language too. And why don't learn English? Many of your clients could be here in the States or in some Anglophone kind of world. I don't know, probably in Australia or Canada or where's the other places they speak English to? Not many places they speak English too. Many ex-British colonies speak English a lot. So yeah, you can just try there. Not only in the United States. So if where you are going to be a comic artist, where you're going to be on a commercial illustrator, where you're going to be an illustrator just focusing books and fantasy literature or something like that, well, you have to have a portfolio that reflects that thing. So my advice, kind of advice for you guys, is try to find out what is the thing that ticks you most. Okay, what is the thing that makes your fingers tingling? Like, I want to do that. What is that kind of thing? Once you find that thing, start figuring out how to do it. And once you have already figured out how to do it, who is going to be your target and how is you will start, approaching your target, you should do it. Okay? Nobody tells you it's easy. It's not easy for nobody, but it's fun. And if you are still living with your parents, not selling nothing against that, living with your parents, you are young and you don't pay rent and you don't have a family to feed, you should do it. And for the other guys that they are pretty much convinced they have talent, look for criticism, but not the kind of stupid criticism that said, "Oh yeah, you can just get to my course. You can just buy this thing because you can buy that thing by yourself. You don't need help for that. You can just buy a course for human anatomy in that place. You can just buy a course for digital painting in that place. That you can do it that for yourself, but just get away from the guys that they promise you that you can do something that probably you don't have the talent to do. So, first things first, you have to know if you have what is needed to do this. Oh, yeah, this is commercial art. This is not lateral thinking. This is not conceptual art. This is not something that you need like a huge baggage or probably go to university or probably be. And don't tell me that Basquiat never stayed foot in university because it's Basquiat was in the high school system in New York, at least knows some art. Please don't start there. Okay? Because at the end of the Basquiat life, he knows art. He already read it. Okay? Don't start there. You can start not knowing nothing about art. But when you end is what is important. Because you will know a lot of things. I mean, you will know about schools, you will know about techniques, you will know about media, you know about how to mix and match everything. That is the truth. And I don't mean to be rude because there is no right now a lot of this kind of YouTube's people telling you you don't need education to be an artist. You don't need that. Yeah, you probably don't need education, but let me tell you, if I were a guy who is hiring for a gaming company, even just a starting gaming company, and I'm looking for a concept artist, a very good one, and I have sketches from a guy who doesn't even, who never went to any university, even though the sketches looks good, looks okay, but he doesn't know how to apply texture. He doesn't know how to, the kind of the workflow in one of those places, and have no idea about the programs. And I have this guy whose sketches are normal, uh, the kind of not trend setting, is the kind of normal. You have to start thinking. You are just starting. You are a starter, a startup, and this guy here, in this guy knows how to do things. Probably it's not the brightest bulb in the room, But this guy has no education, has no ideas. His things are not even, it has a nice technique, but he's haven't proved that it can or has a mental library for where to get things. So, who do you think I will choose? I will choose this guy. That's true. Okay. And if you go to, if you are going to be a fine artist and says, oh, yeah, I can be like Basquiat, Andy Warhol teach Basquiat what to say. Yeah, that's true. And I guess pretty much Andy Warhol discovered Basquiat. I guess I have to learn about it. I don't know. I might be mistaken. I might be wrong. So the other thing is your work is not the best. It's never the best. There's always a better job, a better work, and will be always a better work. And you come back to whatever you did before, and you say, it sucks. I didn't like it. For that reason, I'm repurposing this thing. So let's go start doing this. First, let me tell you something. If you want to support these artists and this channel or whatever we are doing, which is trying to do this kind of free demos, demonstrations, because this is not a class. I'm not telling you a theory or that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to show you what to do with the programs, just using regular kind of things, not doing like layer masks or that kind of stuff, just the regular kind of things. Well, if you want to support an artist doing this, well, you can just click and subscribe. It's totally free. And you will be helping out this channel to our monetization, which is, yeah, what we, the YouTube creators, we are looking for. And also, if you want to help these artists in a more monetary way, there is a link for PayPal so you can make a donation. Could be a recurring donation or could be a normal donation. For $3 per month, you will be helping out this channel. You will be helping me out a lot because I need to buy probably new equipment. New equipment to make my class, well, not this class, these demos a little more nice. And probably a better light. Yeah, that's it. But because everything that I have here, computer, Wacom, everything is mine. I don't do demos for other companies. The demos that I do is the things that I own. It's not the things that somebody just let me to try to do a demo. No, it's things like I own. Yeah. So the other thing to support this artist is, oh, are you a writer? Are you an author? And you are looking for a nice, decent cover in fantasy, or also a nice and decent cover, or for the picture books for kids, for adults. Well, let me tell you, I might be your man. Well, just drop me a message. I'll send me an email. That actually my email is in there. So yeah, if you are browsing the YouTube channel, my email is in there. And I would appreciate that a lot. And also follow me on my social media. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, X, hate Elon, and that kind of stuff. So sorry, Elon. And by the way, I'm using my XP pen gloves because Wacom never sent me a glove with my Cintiq. I've been doing this for more than 3 years with my Cintiq. And you know what? Almost 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. And you know what? They never include a glove. And they never, reach me out and tell me, oh, we are going to give you a glove. No. So, yeah. Shame on you, Wacom. I had like 6 of this from XP Pen when I have the XP Pen. Well, so right now, let's gonna go back and try to do the repurposing of this girl. Okay. Yeah, it's reading the screen. Hey, but it's back on display, so let me get the microphone from my face and put it back. Yeah, this is what we were doing the last time, and what we're gonna be doing later on is trying to make this girl to do some things. But first, let me see how am I doing in my YouTube. Oh, viewing YouTube. Hey everyone, this is Gus. Welcome to Where's my YouTube? My channel. Your channel. Oh, okay, now it's me. So yeah, I'm watching this. So let me open my oh, okay, my PureRef. So this is PureRef. That's the program that I've been using all this time. Is PureRef. Pure reference or PureRef is as the name references. So I can make my. Let me see. Is the retrieve? Oh yeah, she's here. Okay, that is this. Okay. So let me open also Pinterest and let me check for the. Oh, these are cool. Save, save, save. So if I like this style, I'm gonna try to reproduce this style. I need cyber girl. Yeah, yeah, cyber girl. Yeah, I need a cyber girl, but mm, okay. So, oh, really? Thank you. Uh-huh. I put the cyborgs. I like the idea of the cyborgs of the no the okay. This one looks nice. Yeah, yeah, something like that. I like that idea. Okay. Yeah. Also, this is a very nice point of view too. Okay. I like the part of the neck because it's a part that I'm going to be okay focusing myself a little more. Okay, this is a nice one. Ah, I need a better. Uh, oh yeah, that might be nice idea. Yeah, maybe a nice idea. Okay. So we are doing fantasy. So we are doing like a kind of cyberpunk, but I need something to make this a little better. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a little more colorful. Yeah. Yeah, I need the idea for the neck. This might be a good idea. So we are doing the references. Now I need some reference and just purely how I don't have enough. I need more references about styles. Okay. somebody who has like a nice kind of cyborg neck. To see where it's going, where it's going. Let me see somebody that is has probably has what I'm looking for. Okay, this idea is nice, but it looks like so much AI. Yeah, this idea is nice too. Oh, I like this idea more. Okay, see this idea. Yeah, that looks pretty nice, pretty interesting. Mhm. Okay, let me save this first. Yeah, saving. Hmm. Yeah, this is another idea too. Ideas, ideas. Okay, might be a nice idea. This, but I like more this kind of style. Not everything has to have, the kind of a, yeah, can be different planes. I like that. Yes, I like that. Okay, let's go back to the painting of this girl because we have to paint her. No. Okay, let's go back to paint her. So first we have the flats and we have to do something. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint her. First, we're gonna paint her doing some an extra layer. And I'm not gonna use like different layers because many people uses one layer for the the shades or the shadows, another layer for the midtones, and another layer for the light. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use like one kind of layer, one kind of layer, and I'm gonna try to mix everything there. So let me show you. First, I'm gonna be using this kind of brush. This brush that you see here that I don't know. Let me see if I can see you. What is the brush? Modify key settings. Okay, let me see if I can just find the brush. Uh, no, I cannot find the brush. There should be a way for you to know what the brush is, the brush that I'm using. Yeah. So yeah, let's go and try to do this. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we are doing this. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, we are doing the shade. Basically, whatever. Waste a little in what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna have the midtones. The midtones are a little more like yellowish. Use some more of the midtones. Midtones. We have some midtones in this area. Let me get rid of this because yeah. Okay, let's see. I was doing this. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna use this. Oh yeah, I forgot this. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay, so my brushes. Mm, this. Mm, but let me see. Okay, now we are gonna be doing the lights. So we need some lights here. Okay, let me do some lights. This guy. Mm, no, I don't want the light there. Okay. I want the light there. So for many people, this is gonna be like a finished thing, but for me, no, it's not finished. You have to do some more interesting things. Okay, once you do the lights. By the way, let me get this place into this. One more. Yeah. Okay. So for the lay, this is blush. I call this guy blush, and this is gonna be yeah. This one is gonna be the light. Yeah, this one is gonna be light. By the way, I didn't do this part. Mm-hmm. This is light. This is gonna be a light. So the part of the light, we have this here, and also we have light here. So we have some light here. So I have some light here. Oh, let me save this just in case. I like it. I like the way it's showing up. I like this way that it's looking this way. Okay. Okay, let me show the light also for the ears. I need lights in their ears. Mm. Okay. It should be here in the light. Mm-hmm. No. Okay. Now I like the, a little better there. Okay. So yeah, it's looking better. So you see how we can paint it to whatever the style I want. Okay. So right now I'm gonna be using the. I'm gonna come back to this because I need to do the eyes. It has green eyes, but I'm gonna do like a blue eyes in here. Mm. So let's see what's the color. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I like this more. Mhm. Let me go back to this guys. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, oops. So, okay. Now we're gonna be doing the light in the eyes. Now I like it more. Okay, let me. Okay. Now it looks way better. Okay. If you compare it with whatever I did before, I really love this more. So let me get this back here. Paint this a little more. Okay. So just start. We finish with the face. So let's continue. This is the face. Yeah. Finish with the face. So let's continue doing some interesting stuff and the rest of the play. For that thing, I need to do some research with the color. Yeah, like this gray. Okay. So we are gonna do gray. So let's go back to this, to the layer. Again, a new one. Make a new one. It's gonna be metal. We later are gonna revise the part of the blouse and also the part of the body. But right now we just need, yeah, the face is done. We just need to do the rest of this thing. It's gonna be the metal part of this thing. So let me see this. It's gonna be the metal. So the metal, just start doing the shades of the metal. Yeah. So I have in a different layer. The layer is gonna be right underneath because I don't want this to be like you know like contaminated colors. That is something that you can do. Actually, you cannot do unless you're using a mask or kind of chemical that resembles a mask, like the one that you can use. This kind of like a rubbery mask that you apply with a brush that you can use with the watercolors. But this is not a mask. This is gonna be that way. So yeah, let me go and do the a little more of the first. Let's try to do as much shade as possible because I want to make a shade here. So yeah, it's gonna be this shade. I'm trying to use this like an idea, but it's pretty much something that I will go to. Because I'm still trying to create the. Okay. I'm going to start doing also this. And yeah, these guys have to have different values. Let me go to this part of the normal and try to get rid of this. Oh, oh shoot. I'm supposed to do this. Yeah. We can just get rid of this thing, and which is, you know, mm, the other part that is supposed to be painted. Okay. Now you can see what we are doing. We are creating like a nice of this kind of design. So I'm doing the shades right now. It's gonna be like all of them. Okay, I'm in the normal layer. I was supposed to do this in the metal layer. Really? Let me get rid of the normal layer to see what I'm doing in the middle. Oh, I didn't do anything in the middle. Ah, whatever. Guess I'm gonna go to the middle layer and try to do. Okay, this is the middle. We are gonna be working in the middle from now on. Okay. You know what? When you mess up something, you have to correct it. So we are going to start getting rid of these things. They are in the normal layer. I don't want to work in the normal layer. I create a metal layer for that. Hmm. So let me see. Metal is out. So whatever is here is supposed to be in the normal layer. Okay. This is the thing that I have to get rid of. Why I'm doing this? Oh, because you rather be organized, because if not, it's gonna be a chaos. Doesn't matter that I do some things here. Doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. Come back to the normal layer. And right now what we're gonna do is lock this layer. So I cannot use it anymore. We're gonna back to the middle. Yeah, this is okay. Get the same color. Yeah. We're gonna start doing this again. It doesn't matter, but I guess you understand is the need to be organized. Because if you want to achieve a nice workflow, I mean to get things done and with a nice and clean style, you need to be organized. And for that thing, you have to have some layers. Well, the difference between these layers and the other kind of layers I was doing is when I'm trying to control whatever the metal is gonna look like, it will, you know, contaminate the other parts. Okay? See? Now it looks better. It's more organized in some parts. Yeah, way better. Now we can go a little darker. Okay, let's continue with this. But first, I have to. Oh yeah, your luck. Let me unlock this guy. Let me unlock this guy. Okay, let me unlock this guy. Hmm. Okay, now I'm back in middle, but I'm gonna unlock this guy again because I don't want nothing to do with this. First, we still have to. Okay, see, we have a little more of the. thing is using layers is if I don't like it, I can restart. See, that's the good thing about the layers. Don't like it, I can restart. So yeah, okay. So the face is ready. I'm not sure, but I guess I'm gonna keep the black, ah, the black lines. Maybe, probably. I'm not sure yet, but I really like them very much. So the other thing is, I'm gonna do like mm, I guess I'm gonna do I guess I will do the likes next week, and we go with the rest of the what is it called? With the rest of the we go with the like this week, and we go with the rest of the shining and the rest of the things. So we'll repurpose this. I like the way the face looks like right